Hello and welcome to the webinar Independent Testing as Fair Judge of Quality Assessment, hosted by QATestLab company. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you will enjoy. QATestLab continues a series of live webinars dedicated to QA and testing. We are going to talk about specifics of software testing, QA team management, test approaches and tools. We will analyze tricky cases on real projects. Besides, we will chat on what stage of software development testing should be implemented, and how to select the proper provider of QA services to build long-term business relations. We also will try to prepare the most helpful and interesting topics for you to understand nuances of software testing and avoid any pitfalls. If you have any suggestions about the webinar topic, please write to marketing@qatestlab.com. Before we start today's webinar, let me please briefly explain how to use GoToWebinar software. On your right side, you will see the control panel. Feel free to ask questions to organizers during a webinar using the chat or questions pane in the control panel. We're recording this webinar, and a link to the record will be provided by email within a couple of days after the webinar. Why testing? For companies to ensure a smooth and successful market release, a high-quality solution is a must. Testing assists in ensuring proper quality and improve operation of software product. How do you feel about the statement on the slide? I very hope that you share my opinion that testing is an important process, not only in identifying and fixing bugs, but also in determining the life cycle of the application. You will agree that thorough testing is crucial for rapid delivery in high-quality software. Industries across the globe have completely transformed testing mechanism to proactively prevent bugs, thereby attaining higher quality standards. We will check several cases about the testing. It will be testing by development team. It will be testing by QA in-house team, by the QA team of another projects in the company, and about the independent testers. So I'd like to start with the first case. It's testing by development team. Development teams cannot provide a proper evaluation of software quality as they base the checking rather on expectations than on actual results. Besides, they assess quality from the perspective of the developer, not end user. Let me explain. Imagine a programmer who writes a software and then tests it by himself. He will not want to break his product. He will be eager to launch it to the market and earn money on it as soon as possible. When testing his program, he will be biased and will test it in the ways which are safe. He will test it in the ways which do not break it out. He has a fear to have to spend more time on fixing it. In other words, how we called, they will test only positive scenarios. An independent team, instead, will not feel or regards over the program and will act completely independently. They will try to find bugs and errors in the program under all perspectives. The independent team will not be concerned on launching the program to public to make money. It's not their job. They will look into break the product as that is their purpose and means of making money. This is why Boris Bezer, who wrote the book Software Testing Techniques, said that only 5% of programmers' education is dedicated to learning how to find flaws in his program. So, in practicality, they will spend just half of their time testing the programs they created, just about dev team. There is a difference in the state of mind which exists in a person creating a program and that person testing it. The mind of the former is like a builder and concentrates on building, while the mind of the latter geared to find flaws which may lead the buildings to collapse if their flaws go unnoticed. Second case, as I said, it in-house QA team. In real life, we can meet a lot of companies where present in-house QA team. Being instructed by the development manager, integrated testers cannot provide objective quality assessment. Besides, possessing limited internal infrastructure, the tester cannot perform on required testing activities. Rather than have a totally independent team, one could think that perhaps it will be more logical to get integrated tester who reports to the developmental manager to test the program. While this would provide a level of independence, it's not ideal solution, because development manager will instruct the integrated tester to forgo certain tests due to time and monetary restraints. For example, deadlines. Yeah, and we'd like to finish testing as soon as possible. We'll skip some cases, not important cases, in the mind of a project manager. Since the integral QA would be obliged to listen to the development manager, independence would be lost in such cases. Once again, complete independence would not exist. Another problem with using this approach is that environment in which testing would take place would not permit certain forms of testing, such as stress testing, since there are only a few users in such developmental environments and integration is lacking. Let's go to another slide. In-house QA team from another project. Let's imagine that we have a huge company that works on several projects, and every project has its testing team. So another option would be to use a team of testers who are not related to the development team and are outside of it. Just like I said, they are not responsible of answering to project manager. While this may seem like an option which provides independent testing, there is always the possibility that time restraints lead the project manager to influence the testers. Once again, leading is bias. The solution, therefore, rests in having a completely independent team for testing the product. By having independent testing conducted, customers receive an objective and precise quality assessment, but face several barriers that may affect the product quality. The independent team of testers doesn't report to the development or project manager. It reports to independent organization. The team of such testers would consist of product specialists, specialists in technology, security testers, certification testers, and test automation experts. Such as independent teams of experts would question everything. They would have the required mindset of seeking flaws and destruction of the product as opposite to preservation. They would leave to stone unturned and would not be influenced by time and monetary restraints. The chance of being told to cut corners due to wasted interest would be virtually non-existent. So for now, let's talk about disadvantages, and then we'll talk about advantages of such testers. Okay, independent team is not utopia. It also has some disadvantages, such as communication problems, QA team isolation, different time zones, unawareness of business objectives. Isolation from the development team can sometimes lead to outdated documentation reference. Yeah, it's a common problem. The independent test execution is normally the last stage and affected by any delays early in the process. Developers might be irresponsible for quality, as they might assume that independent testing team is there to find the issues within the system. Independent testing can sometimes act as a hindrance to communication. But these shortcomings are not compared to the advantages of independent testing. By the way, experienced QA lead or project manager will be able to prevent some of that issues. Maybe you have something to add about the disadvantages of independent QA team, just maybe outsource QA team. If not, let's continue. Okay, so let's continue. Independent QA and testing benefits of that team. Independent testing has an upper hand over traditional testing in many ways. Independent testing provides a number of benefits that ensure fast and effective product release. What are they? They are objective evaluation, team flexibility, reduction of costs, release acceleration. So let's look into more details. Point 1. Objective assessment. Making no assumptions on system quality and operation, testers assess a software from neutral and bias-free perspective. One of the top benefits of outsourcing testing to independent providers is improved software quality. Independent testing teams engage in bias-free procedure and make sure that the product is developed according to customer requirements and meets the desired objectives while maintaining high quality. Point number 2, flexibility. QA team is able to collaborate with customers following offshore and nearshore business model based on project specifics, requirements, and objectives. Actually, we're living in the fast-paced world and we need to be flexible in order to keep up with the pace. You can opt for automation testing or manual testing based on organization needs, on project needs. You can easily switch between manual and automation testing in any time. Also, you can resize testing teams in order to your needs, as independent testing organizations have the best of talent and expertise to do so. Cost reduction. Possessing over large infrastructure and much human resources, independent QA provides do not require additional spendings on testing means. Organizations that employ independent testers can focus exclusively on quality and adherence to requirements and maintainability and scalability to address future needs. This ensures low failure rates and reduced maintenance costs. Rigorous testing cycles for both functional and non-functional aspects like performance and stress handling is covered. Let's talk about point 4, time to market reduction. Independent QA possesses large dedicated teams with own internal management. They ensure fast and effective task fulfillment by having opportunity to work with development teams simultaneously. There is reduced and improved time to market for organizations having an independent testing practices. Access to expertise in test automation skills ensures faster testing cycles. Predictability to testing efforts ensures adherence to timelines. Optimized staffing ensures effective handling of dynamic requirements. Also, it's useful when dev team and QA team are in the different time zones. While one of them is working, the second one is resting. Dev team finished with the development, and in that time, till their new day begins, QA team is testing software. It's an endless cycle that will reduce time to release. I hope that it's all clear for you. Okay, let's switch to the point 5, no conflict of objectives. Testing executed by software houses may not reflect the real software quality, as they are more focused on showing bug-free code. I think you understand me. Independent providers are fully focused on issue detection. It's that thing that they earn money. Several times we already talked about this, but it's really quite important. Point 6, team competence development. Independent QA providers monitor and promote the development of tester skills, while software houses are oriented mainly on the improvement of developers' competence. Yeah, and this is their specific. Independent testing organizations have experience and skilled manpower to carry out testing activities in the best possible manner. They hire the best of talent across various testing domains like automation testing, for example, manual testing, load testing, security testing, etc. In order to receive objective quality verification that helps in a continuous delivery of solution within a acceptable budget, customers should have independent QA and testing performed. Organizations are expected to continuously develop and deliver high-quality software products with minimum budget, but they can neither hire different testers in advance nor as and when required, and formed will hit the overall revenue of the organization in case if they are not pushed to use the latter with impact product delivery. They also grapple with the never-ending change in clients' requirements and need to keep up with the market demands. As product objective change, testing requirements also change. Due to time and cost constraints, organizations may not be able to cater to the changes. As a result, product quality is either compromised or delayed. It's in better case, which is harmful for the reputation of an organization. All these challenges, along with the factors like software complexity, size, and user sophistication, have led to the birth of independent testing organization. Independent testers are neutral umpires, so can analyze software from the business perspective rather than developer perspective. Not just that, independent testing teams can be scaled up and down as per testing requirements. More than assessment. Independent testing can even help to assert the rights and conflicts resolution in case of agreement breaching between customers and vendors. Let's look at the case in more detail. I'd like to say that this is real case, it's real example. What was the problem? Having software development outsourced, the company received the ready-to-market product. The release failed as the system did not satisfy quality standards and had several issues. To assert the rights, the customer addressed the independent QA and testing provider for that. Recently, the issue of settling disagreements and resolving dispute between the customer and performer is very topical and quite even burning. The last, I don't know, perhaps 6 months. So how we solved that problem? We did 3 steps. First step was that we provide unbiased quality assessment to objective approve or dismiss the claims of both sides. We compare our test results with ones provided by in-house QA team. In addition, I'd like to say that the customer had its own in-house team, so the part of results were from them, but we should recheck them. We evaluate and validate each item of the requirements specification provided by the vendor. It's also important. Then we conduct exploratory testing to detect additional issues that the staff QA team may miss. What then? We got a result. The final results of quality verification will be presented in the form of reports including all details of independent testing. Sign and seal the report, the company CEO is able to use this document for setting the rights and solve the conflict. Also, if you have another situation, we can discuss it, adjust to it, and give the result that will help to resolve the dispute between companies. What I'd like to say in conclusion. In order to save time and effectively distribute the project budget, companies should initially order independent testing for avoiding legal proceedings and ensure flawless activities. All in all, independent is the key to product quality. A programmer, integrated tester, or team obligated to report of the developmental manager, or a team of testers outside the developmental team obliged to report to the project manager would all be likely to experience a degree of bias, which would prevent them from truly exposing the flaws in a given product. While the testing team outside the development team would have a dedicated environment freeing it from constraints of the environment, the bias towards the entire project will still be present. Thus, a truly independent solution rests in the having team of testing experts who report neither to the development manager or project manager, but to a separate organization or person. Okay, so that's all from my side for today. Thank you for staying with us today. In several minutes, we will have Q&A session, so if you have any questions, please type them into the text form and I will try to help you. So I will mute myself for 2 minutes and I'll wait your questions. So quickly, I see the first question just appeared. So I will start and then we'll continue with another questions. First question is, how can we manage independent teams and control the quality of their work? Actually, in my mind, I have several options and actually we use them. First, it's daily, weekly, monthly reports. Perhaps we can discuss the option of the sprint reports. Another option will be daily meetings or just weekly meetings, Scrum meetings. I don't know. It depends on the customer. If he have time, we can discuss, have voice calls and discuss that problems. Thank you for the question. The next one, what was the biggest challenge that you faced with the independent QA team and how did you solve it? Actually, I need some time to think. Just want to say that we have always have challenges. I can't name the biggest one. Perhaps just I can't remember the biggest one. Perhaps it's a lack of documentation, and when we are getting acquainted with the software by ad hoc testing, yeah, it's a big problem. Why cannot a manager, together with developers, test the product? The manager knows business logic better. Yes, you're right, but we were talking about this during this webinar. We discussed this, but they will be biased. They want to deliver ready product ASAP as soon as possible, and there is a huge chance that they will close their eyes on some major issues, not major issues, or some issue that that developer team need a lot of time to fix. Okay, the next question is it possible to keep the same tester or team on the project, or different people perform the test each time? Again, we can discuss this option, but as usual, it's the same tester. What industry is your case from? I guess that you're talking about the case when customer and vendor has a dispute. So it was a mobile messenger. How to make test results legitimate and valid for court sue. I also talk about this. For example, we perform several steps, as I mentioned, and then we prepare a final report about our independence testing. Then a person who responds for the technical side, it's QA lead, program manager, or CEO of testing company, will sign it. and we can send you scan copy with the seal or paper variant as you wish. So it's not a problem, we can discuss this in such cases. Okay, no more questions. I'd like to say that if you have any questions left, please contact us using the contact details on the slide, and we will answer them soon. So thank you again for your attention and have a great day or evening. Take care. Bye.